Let's bring in Tom Lee, Fundstrat co-founder, managing partner in Fundstrat Capital, CIO, and I can just see you. This is Tom playing out exactly as you said. Choppy. You said exactly this. You said choppy for how long, but then the S&P again starts moving, and this is not, I don't think, an obvious or a logical conclusion to have right now with all the bad news that we're hearing about these policies. Everybody thinks the market's headed lower.
Yes, but instead we could be bottoming, maybe this week.
And this is the choppiness you were talking about. And, you know, I think you use a combination of fundamentals and technicals, obviously,
yes,
to get things right. And the reason for the choppiness was going to be the first 100 days of this fire hose of executive orders and everything else.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of weighing on investors' minds. We're seeing it even in the surveys and CEOs, because the tariffs and DOGE are, you know, the DOGE is creating austerity. Tariffs are creating uncertainty. Businesses are maybe sort of sitting on their hands. This is why I think markets have been sort of sinking and momentum has done so poorly. But to me, Friday was a good day because, you know, it was a bad news headline, but markets actually rallied.
Yeah, World War III is usually not a good headline
yes,
for financial markets, or a continuation of a very expensive, you know, guns and butter. Using guns or using weapons and depleting them and having to rebuild them and everything else might be good, I guess, for the economy. It doesn't seem like a great thing. I'd rather be spending it on AI or something like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I think, or even rebuilding parts of the, you know, the U.S.
Right, exactly. So from here on out, you think we bottomed? Have we seen the lows already? Because we didn't get worse than, what do we get, 5% on the S&P as far as the drawdown?
Well, I think investors are going to be kind of watching out of the corner of their eye, because Friday is the jobs report. Last week, consumption kind of raised concerns that maybe we're slipping into a slower or downshift in speed. So if the jobs report's really weak, there could be some panic.
I would think that it would be, I mean, you know, we know about these crack addicts in the equity pit. They want more rate cuts. I would, if it's not too bad, just soft a little bit, and it brings back the prospect of more than 1 or 2 rate cuts, I could see the market rallying on that.
Yes, that's right. I think if the job report is bad and maybe we initially panic, like even that day, then everyone's going to rethink and realize not only is the Fed put back, because the Fed now will need to cut, but I think that some of the things that look like the White House wants to slow the economy, they don't want to get to stall speed. So then the White House, I think, the Trump put comes back. So I think it helps markets.
Isn't the bar very high, though, for Fed rate cuts to be back on the table? I mean, let's say we do have a softer jobs report. I mean, the Fed and many Fed officials have said that the tariff issue they would look through. And so even if tariffs put grit in the economy and we have a softer sort of economic backdrop, that may still not be enough for the Fed to do anything. So that Fed put may not be worth much.
Well, I think it just depends on what the job number looks like. You know, the Fed has not worried about the labor market being inflationary, but they would certainly worry if unemployment's picking up or if we have a negative jobs report. I don't think it's negative, but something, you know, it could be well under 100,000. And if it is, I think the Fed would actually have to get off their hawkish paws.
What is the fundamental and the technical backdrop for bottoming happening this coming week?
Well, you know, I think the best way to define a bottom, and Tom DeMark has mentioned this before, is stocks rise on bad news. And so Friday was maybe the first sign of bad news and markets bottoming. But I know our technician, Mark Newton, doesn't think we're there yet. He wants to see more signs of exhaustion. But we've seen sentiment turn negative. So yeah, maybe Friday, you know, but it could have already bottomed too.